Hello, everybody, and welcome to this pre record as of this moment here. You can see the corner screen tells you where it's from, but of course, I would say this now. This is a pre record, and of course, we are doing a very much a special show today. And no, I'm not Dan Wootton outspoken, but we are, of course, an independent kind of source here, community news special with Nick C. And more we notice, more we find. It is the strapline. Basically, what a strapline is, it's kind of like a command of words, which, of course, hopefully makes sense to the public. And of course, it's probably, in other words, a phrase. So if you're watching on captions or otherwise known as subtitles, massive hello to you. I've been watching Dan Witten Outspoken to give me a little bit of confidence in presenting skills. So that's why I'm speaking slowly like he does. He always uses the word but. Exactly, but. But we have a special show. Exactly that thing. We're only allowed, of course, 2 hours a month on the free edition here. So I can only apologise about that. So let me just take the kind of, I would say, um, sync USB out of the way here. It's actually interfering with the actual channel here. It's this little thing here. I bought this long sort of USB sync wire here, and of course it's no good when you're streaming live in particular. So yeah, we'll try and do some work for today, and of course something that we normally do live as well, because I thought it was going to be scheduled for tomorrow, which meant, of course, that I would not be doing this special show today. But yeah, I'm actually going to introduce you to a video which I'll do a bit of commentary on beforehand. So it's a pre kind of video for you, and it will be uploaded soon on the stream. If it does get uploaded, if it gets uploaded, either, of course, on the Nixie and of course, Nicole's Adventures channel, which of course is a standalone channel on TikTok and on YouTube as well, where we are totally independent. So, on that note, what I'm going to do is play you a video without any sound, what I have got from the original camera here. I've been bleeped here so many times here. Uh, so yeah, I've been sent a bit of attachments here. Uh, yeah, some rude words coming up on the attachments there. Uh, so it's quite hilarious to say the least here. So welcome along to this special edition of the Community News with Nick C here. It's not any episode, by the way, and I'm just kind of like taking a break for a moment or two. But of course, yeah, we will be going on to, if it's up already on the channel, which is the Community News episode number 20. If it's up there, then a good ribbons for it, and hope it does well. Hope people do watch it, or at least a few of you watch it, probably. But hopefully, of course, it is something that the independent media want to listen to. Of course, your favourite presenters, that kind of thing, rather than switching on the mainstream. But anyway, of course, yeah, episode 20, of course, if it's not up, it will be there soon. And if it is up, then give it a thumbs up if you can. We need as many thumbs up as possible. That would really, really help. So, yeah, just to let you know, of course, this is the background. What you can hear is, of course, for the program, and something that I might use for the main live kind of show that I do on the episodes. So, of course, yeah, please do watch the lives if you can. I know sometimes we do them a little bit late than usual, but we encourage your support on this because we would love you to actually tune in to us at any one time. will be really much appreciated. So yeah, it doesn't matter what time of the day. Well, of course, I will actually look up what people are wanting here. If I don't get a huge response here, I will use the TikTok, not TikTok, sorry, the X, because it's the same sort of color logo, by the way, as TikTok. Of course, what I'll do is get rid of this special news here. It went on for, of course, 1 minute and 29 here, which I didn't realize I was going live. But anyway, of course, the live version, of course, will return soon. So don't, of course, worry about that. I'm just looking at the post right now. So yeah, do check out, by the way, Bruce Unfiltered. This guy was amazing recently that I witnessed on the Uncensored Style by Dan Wootton, which of course formerly was on GB News. He spoke about it with, of course, this guy called Phil, which I did see, of course, this latest episode of Dan Wootton, of course, whilst he's been away. I think he returns on Monday, that being, of course, in a few days' time, because it's the 26th of the 9th, which is September 2025, which is on a Friday evening here. Friday nights for me, I feel that are sort of a bit weird these days. And of course, it's because probably I don't really go out on a Friday night. It feels like any other night during the day. It doesn't feel like it, of course, like it used to, if you know what I'm trying to say. Yeah. All right, okay. That's the live 236 or something like that. I'll talk about that in just a moment here if we get time to talk about that. There's a lot of things going on in the world at this moment here. Digital IDs, of course. There is a petition to sign, of course, the digital idea, the ID, which, of course, in my opinion, of course, I've really signed up for the reason, of course, I do not want to be, of course, tracked everywhere I go. I don't mind, of course, people I know well could see where I'm going. Like I'll tell you about this app here, which is quite good actually. You can also do it on another app, which is actually called Find My. So yeah, of course, if you want to find a family member or something like that, and this app here is called Life. I think it's Life something. I can't actually figure out what it is actually. It's Life something anyway. Life 236 or something very similar to that. So yeah, I'm trying to find out what the name of the app is, but of course it's just this purple app here. Um, Maybe I'll look it up on the search bit. It might just come up. Um, if I type it in, of course, I'll find it. Life 360, not 236. So yeah, Life 360. I'll tell you about the app in just a moment here. I'm not trying to promote the app whatsoever, but of course I'm trying to explain what this modern app is all about. But not everybody, of course, has the technology, which is what the government need to think about when it comes to the digital ID process, because not everybody has got a digital phone. You've got to think about all these oldies here. So, of course, these sort of people are not really stuck with the times here, and they don't necessarily want mobile phones. So, this is a community thing here. We're not here to um, incite violence or anything like that. We're trying to steer away from all this here, which is what this independent media on YouTube and possibly X as well, and TikTok on some sort of platforms. And of course, if I ever go back on Facebook and do live streaming. But what I will say is this: it's a great privilege to be able to do this special show here. I thought I'd come up with this for the reason is because I saw Dan Wootton do a very similar thing, but he's doing it in a more mainstream kind of political way. But of course, we're doing it in a community sense. It'd be lovely to get an interview on Dan Wootton Outspoken to talk about the community version of the mainstream, because I don't think, of course, it gets mentioned. Of course, it'd be interesting to talk about the uncancelled side of the, I would say, community, where I'm actually trying to really get together people to talk in a positive kind of way. And basically, what the idea of the project is, because I came from the idea of the Walk channel of Walk with Me, Tim, but I also then come up with my own ideas of a mixture here. He does walk channels, fair enough. Love what he's doing, and I've met the guy a couple of times in Cambridge and Great Yarmouth. I hope to meet him in the future. I think my brother Giuliani Buzz has met him more times than I have in a century. But yeah, recent sightings of Tim and Gabby from Giuliani Buzz, who does the Nice and Relaxing show, taking a long time out at the moment, but of course, hopefully, we'll do some kind of musical thing soon. But what I will say about that, he met him in Costa Coffee, met, of course, Tim and Gabby in the Costa Coffee whilst he was in Great Yarmouth. And of course, that was pretty recent. I think it was in August that, of course, they were out and about in Great Yarmouth. Obviously, they live around the area. So let's get straight to the point here, straight to the video here in question here. We're going to turn the sound off of the original sound and walk you through. Maybe talk you actually is the right word for this one, because we're talking about walk channels here. But this is not just necessarily a walk channel. We do some kind of walking, although I was walking on this occasion. But we do other things. We promote the community. We are looking for more guests to come on and have their say about the actual community that they hold. And of course, I am getting to know some people, especially at the fellowship group 2 till 4 at Saffron Walden at the Jubilee Hub next to the Jubilee Gardens in Saffron Walden in Essex. Mustn't get confused with the two. Jubilee Hub and the Jubilee Gardens, two separate things, although they're next to each other. But all in Saffron Walden in Essex in the UK. So yeah, Saffron Walden in Essex, which has a railway station, which is on the end currently at the moment, but there are plans to connect it to Haverhill somehow. But I don't know if it's going to be connected to Audley End. It's probably going to be connected in a different sort of way, because there is lots of campaigning for it, but it never gets done and never gets discussed. But yeah, I will be having a meeting, of course. I won't be able to film it or do anything like that, but of course, hopefully I'll get a photograph. I'm hoping, all being well, to have a meeting with Nick Timothy about, of course, the Haverhill Suffolk area. And that's Nick Timothy, the MP for Haverhill, because I've seen him in Parliament several times. And of course, he's holding a meeting at the Epicentre. So, yeah, I've had emails back for that. But anyway, yeah, if I can get my tongue in the right place, let's go to this video in question here, because we've been talking about it and never really have put it up on the screen for you. But I'm now going to do that. And of course, yeah, all you will hear is hopefully my voice. Okay, I'm going to remove myself and then play this video here. Let's remove. back to the stage now, and back to me. Oh, there I am. And of course, yeah, I find that very, very fascinating to actually show you a little bit of my walk. Only highlights that you saw at that point here. Sorry, I'm just trying to picture my face in the middle of the screen here. So if you are watching live, I am not live. It is a special show, and I'm just being honest that I'm not live. But of course, you can comment down below if you wish to do so. Okay, it's 23 minutes recorded so far. Just to let you know, the show's almost over, but not quite. So yeah, Life 360. Basically, well, let's put it this way: you can actually connect with, of course, your loved one and your family member to see where they are on the actual tracker. I don't know if I can actually show you right now where we are. Well, I'm actually situated there. I don't know if the camera will pick it up there. I don't want to show where my partner is, but of course, or my other half. It's in two bubbles there. I'm trying to cover that up so you don't see that. Right, okay, let's zoom in. You can actually see where I'm situated there. That's me with the picture there in reverse order. But it's situated where I am. It tells you exactly where it is. And if you're on a sort of, in this sort of term, a car, but of course, something maybe on a bus, it tells you how fast the actual bus is going. So that is quite fascinating to know. So you know how much speed the actual transport is going. And it also tells you how much battery you've got left on the actual tracker as well. So it says, for example, I've been here in the studio for 3 hours and 38 minutes. So there you go. Just remember where you have heard that. Always get a cod in my throat at this sort of time. It feels like I'm doing it live, but I'm not alive, if you know what I'm saying. But it tells you where, of course, my other half, for example, I'm not going to say where it is because it's private information, near such and such place, since 1929. So that's you, and the only information that I'm going to give out here. Oh, yeah. Cod in my throat. I should have a glass of water each time. But yeah, maybe I'll take a break and see what happens. But of course, before I do that, of course, I'm going to play you some music in the background. And yeah, let's do the logo and give you an image file this time. And it should come up here. Oh, there we go. So yeah, I'm going to take a little bit of a break, and then after the break, we've got some word for today. United Christian Broadcasters, UCB word for today, based in Stoke-on-Trent. So yeah, let's really chill out now. wanna feel like summer. I 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 wanna feel like summer. So we're back here, and hopefully that was a short break for you guys out there and girls watching this kind of program here, which is totally independent here and very much special to you, which is a community news special with Nick C. And I hope, of course, most people will enjoy, of course, what you expect to hear on the community news itself. Of course, this is a special, but of course, we do the live episodes as much as we are able to. But yeah, we don't do it every day, but of course, we currently just do it here and there when I'm able to. So I'm going to try and fit it in as best as I am able to. So yeah, we'll put some music in the background whilst I do this. Perhaps, of course, I could actually put this up on the screen whilst you are waiting here. And of course, yeah, it's better if I actually put a picture to the scene rather than just basically read it out to you. But hopefully you can hear my voice at the same time here. I'm going to read you something completely different, and hopefully we'll put a bit of music in the background. If I can find, of course, something that is quite ambient here. Ambient Sound 1. Hopefully you can hear that, or I will turn it down a little bit so that you can actually hear my voice. So, of course, this is UCB, which is basically United Christian Broadcasters based in Stoke-on-Trent. It is also a radio station. Of course, they have two channels. They have two channels there, and both are worth listening to. I've heard a couple of them, and they seem to be very, very interesting. So it's definitely worth it. The music is draining me out here. Okay, of course, the increased value of a greater purpose. Earnestly desire the best gifts. Value of anything is determined by its function. The problem does it solve? As in, what problem does it solve? So, yeah, I'll repeat that once more just in case you didn't hear. What problem does it solve? What does it meet? Sand is a good example, which is a good example. At the beach, sand is free. It doesn't cost you one penny, does it? But if you want to build a playground, that same sand has to be bagged and transported. So it costs more, hence its value goes up. Now, what was once free on the beach costs around £5 per bag. Once this same sand is glued to a piece of paper, making it sandpaper, its value increases again. Now, it could be up to £20 a roll. The value has gone up with an alteration in its purpose. And also further explains this. Now sand is silicon dioxide. When sand is taken, heated and processed, it becomes an intricate part of a computer chip that is now worth $500. So what was once free on the beach now has the value because it is in the bag, because it is glued to a piece of paper, or because it is a computer chip that you can hardly afford. The sand is the same, but it has found increased value in a greater purpose. After writing at length about various jobs to be done and gifts to be exercised in the church, Paul writes, earnestly desire the best gifts. Why? So that you can bring the most benefit and do the greatest good. And Paul writes, believe to the believers of Rome, I long to visit you so I can bring you some spiritual gift that will help you grow strong in the Lord. Don't settle for less. Seek God for more. You won't be disappointed. So we hope you have enjoyed that. Okay, I'm going to remove that and bring it back to me now. And sorry about the sound of the click there. That shouldn't be coming out on the actual show. But yeah, we're not having sound issues, by the way. Just wanted to tell you all that on that particular note. So anyway, of course, yeah, very interesting about that. Of course, the increased value of a greater purpose. Earnestly desire the best gifts. Absolutely brilliant here, and that was supposed to be for the 20th of August 2025. I'm going to try and read you one without any music here so that you can actually hear what I'm trying to say here. I'm actually going to read you two more here because it's got a part one and a part two. I'm going to actually very shortly talk about, of course, the bus survey, and then, of course, I'll finish up with the NHS stuff here. Don't worry, I'm not getting political. But, of course, it's just advice from the NHS how to get warmer in the winter. So that to come very, very shortly. All right, okay. Hopefully you got the gist of that. Right, okay. The importance of good thinking, part number 1. Shall I put the picture up on the stage, or shall I find another one here? Just bear with me. I'll try and find another one, which of course is useful for anyone. Let's have a look. Let's put one up here. A picture of a seaside or something like that. There you go. Should come up on the screen here. There you go. Absolutely brilliant. I should do a slideshow more often, I reckon. But anyway, of course, the only way I can do it is by a live stream, which is on this stream platform, which is up on the right hand corner of your stream. But if I was to do the paid version, obviously that logo would disappear. But of course, without the funding and support, we're not able to remove it. So, of course, if you are able to support us in any other way, it will help us a great way to make a channel like this in the future. Let's hope, of course, the main establishment do not cancel anything like this, because it's very, very important to do community stuff here. We're not, of course, mainstream anyway. Of course, we're totally independent. Of course, a complete different ideology of course, what of course someone like Dan Wootton does. Of course, we're not definitely fighting against freedom of speech, but we tried to do it in a community sense. We're not against freedom of speech, but of course, we are trying to do it in a way that, of course, is more community sense rather than just, you know, um, doing it in the way that, of course, not just only Dan Wootton, there's others as well that are just trying to stand up a bit. And I wish them well in doing that. I sort of agree with what they are doing, but of course, there is certain element that I don't agree with, obviously, in some sort of styles of politics. But of course, I won't go into that. But of course, I never, hardly ever share my opinion about that. This is not what this actual channel is all about. It's about, of course, sharing the community, telling you stuff that you will not see in the mainstream media, as well as, of course, you know, just talking event wise. So yeah, we're talking about, of course, community stuff that it never gets mentioned on the ITV or Sky News or even GB News or even the BBC or the British Bashing Broadcasting, whatever that is. But yeah, Sly News is one of them, and Woke ITV, and so on. The list goes on. There's so many of that. So the importance of good thinking here, as you're looking at the Great Yarmouth picture taken from a while ago, whilst I was in Great Yarmouth, of course, before the summer, I believe it was. So it was this year of 2025. I think it was probably February time, I think, judging by the look of those pictures there, which was, well, just seeing one picture there. But anyway, the importance of good thinking, for as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Good thinkers are constantly in demand. And why is that? Because they solve problems and always have ideas that can build an organization and are hopeful for a better future. And good thinkers seldom find themselves under control of bad thinkers. Adolf Hitler once boasted, "What luck for rulers that men do not think." Those who build the technique of good thinking can manage themselves, even when under an unfair ruler or in other challenging circumstances. In summary, good thinkers are successful. Dr. John Maxwell writes, "I've studied successful people for 40 years, and though the diversity you find among them is astounding, or astounding is the right word for that. Yeah, it's astounding. And I've found that they are all alike in one way: how they think. That is one thing that separates successful people from unsuccessful ones. And here's the good news: how successful people think can be learned. If you can change your thinking, you can change your life. The Bible puts it succinctly: For as he thinks in his heart, so is he, as the main title says. So I repeat that once more. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. That means ready to change your thinking. But if you change the way you think, you can change your life. It's hard to exaggerate the value of changing your thinking and good thinking. Okay, we're talking about good thinking here. Can do several things for you, including generating opportunities, resolving problems, and producing revenue. It can lead to entirely a new level, both professionally and personally. And Paul writes this very thing. Think about things that are excellent and worthy of praise. Then God of peace will be with you. Do you want to change your life? The first step is to change how you think. And that is the importance of good thinking. Part number 1. For as he thinks in his heart, so is he. Now, part number 2 of the importance of good thinking. Keep this book always on your lips. Meditate on it. Then you will be successful. If you want to change your life, you must change how you think and what you think about. When you think about the wrong things, your life goes wrong. But when you think about the right things, your life goes completely right. Well, goes right. And number 1, changing your thinking isn't easy. It's not automatic and doesn't happen on its own. Good ideas seldom go out and bump into someone. If you want to discover a good idea, you have to look for it. If you want to improve your thinking, you need to work at it also. And when you become a better thinker, good ideas will keep coming. Furthermore, the amount of good thinking you do at a specific time relies mainly on the amount of good thinking you're already engaging in this minute. And number 2, changing your thinking calls for commitment. Albert Einstein said, thinking is hard work. That's why so few do it. Interesting that. And when someone says, this thought is off the top of my head, anticipate dandruff. Only people who believe thinking is easy are the ones that don't participate in it. The media, the culture, and those around you will influence your thinking unless you decide to think for yourself. And number 3, changing your thinking brings great rewards. And Paul writes this very thing. We have the mind of Christ. When you tap into the thoughts of God and make them your own, your potential is unlimited. Gold mines run out, stock markets suddenly decline, real estate investments go bad. But a mind transformed by the Spirit and Word of God is like a diamond mine that lasts. It's invaluable. And that's the end of part number 2, the importance of good thinking. Keep this book always on your lips. Meditate on it. Then you will be successful. Absolutely brilliant. So I really enjoyed reading that one. I've read it several times anyway, so I pretty much know it off by heart here. By the way, I've got an old Touring with Us mug here. And I have got Touring with Nick C one as well. I believe I have in a cup holder somewhere. Anyway, that said, of course, we're now going to be talking about something completely different here. let's go back to me now. And thank you very much for taking part in listening to that, even though, of course, I haven't got any background music with that. But, of course, yeah, please do check out the survey, of course. It leads you to the site that actually says, thank you for taking part in our survey and adding your voice to those thousands of bus passengers who do so each year. And when giving your feedback, please just think about the bus journey that you are making and when you met your interviewer, if you did meet a interviewer. If not, just make one up. Of course, all the information you give will be treated in the strictest confidence. Your answers are anonymous and will be used solely for the purpose of the survey. Give us your views today to make sure your voice is heard. The survey is on behalf of Transport Focus, the official independent consumer watchdog that promotes the interests of the transport users. And of course, yeah, it's bva-bdrc.com/guidance survey respondents / So yeah, that's the privacy notice that can be found on that website. That's dbrc.com/guidance for survey respondents. Of course, they say also they may share the responses to the questions in the survey with other organisations that have a legitimate interest in the survey data, such as, but not limited to, local transport authorities, government departments, bus operating companies, and academic consultations. Any organisations receiving the data will also be subject to the same restrictions and obligations under the General Data Protection Act, or the regulations, GDPR. That's the General Data Protection Regulations, GDPR. And the questionnaire should take about 12 minutes to complete. Of course, there is a link to it. Of course, yes, the interviewer could have been, of course, what we shared with you, but you can actually say what you like and you can remain anonymous throughout as well. You do not have to give out any information that you don't want to give out. And of course, it is for those people that, of course, has used the bus recently, or maybe you haven't used the bus and you still want to do the survey. Then, of course, that survey could well be for you. Right, we're going to take a quick break. This one will be a little bit more quicker, and join us in a couple of shakes here where we'll talk about the last part of the show here, because time is running out and it is almost the end of the show. It's 52 minutes gone of the show, of the special anyway. If you jump on the screen here, I can see my recording time here. So I am restricted with that one. General Data Protection Act, whatever that is. God knows what that means these days. But anyway, of course, we'll play you some music to keep you company, and join us after this. So we're back here, and that was a little quick break here to get myself organised for the next section here. So before I go and talk about the sort of winter stuff, which I will do in just a little bit here, do your bit for the NHS. Check what you need before placing your order for repeat prescription medicines. Do not, do not, I repeat, do not stockpile medication. If you don't take a medicine that is prescribed to you, do not order it. So, of course, if it's not prescribed for you, do not order it if you are a paid person that normally pays for medication, for example. And do not share your medications with others. This is dangerous and puts others at risk. So, you're not really supposed to do that. And do not take, you do take any unused medicines to your local pharmacy for safe disposal. Okay, and always check your bag of medicines before you leave the pharmacy and hand back what you do not need. Once medicines have left the pharmacy, they cannot be reused. Just remember where you heard that. Love yourself, love your NHS, according to this slogan here. And published by the NHS West Suffolk Clinical Commissioning Group, West Suffolk House on Western Way, Burston Evans, Suffolk IP 333YU, and telephone 01284 758 010. Get involved at West Suffolk CCG.nhs.uk. And they're also on Twitter, which is now X, and Facebook. The NHS belongs to you. Please do not waste the medicines. It tells you a little bit about the repeat prescriptions here. Only order what you need. Unused prescription medicines cost the NHS in England an estimated at least 300 million a year. And this is the equivalent of at least 11,778 more community nurses, or 80,906 more HIP replacements, and of course 19,799 more drug treatment courses for breast cancer, and of course 300,000 more drug treatment for courses of Alzheimer's, and of course more cataract operations, 312,175. That's the repeat prescriptions. Only order what you need. Right, here to say and help you stay well this winter. Some important information from the NHS to help you stay well this winter. This is what I picked up recently. So, of course, definitely well worth looking at the magazine for more information. And let's have a squig of this first of all. Nice coffee all in one there. That's quite nice, isn't it? Obviously, you've got to stay well this winter. Winter conditions can be seriously bad for our health, especially for people aged 65 or older and people with long-term conditions such as heart or kidney disease, COPD, bronchitis, and emphysema, I think it's pronounced, asthma, and diabetes. And being cold can raise the risk of increased blood pressure. Very important to know that. Heart attacks and strokes. The cold and damp weather, ice, snow, and high winds can all aggravate any existing health problems and make us all vulnerable to respiratory winter illnesses. But there are lots of things you can do to stay well this winter. 1. Feeling unwell? Don't wait. Get advice from your nearest pharmacist. And the first sign of winter illness or at the first sign of the winter illness, even if it's just a cough or cold, get advice from your pharmacist before it gets more serious. Act quickly. The sooner you get advice from the pharmacist, the better. Pharmacists are fully qualified to advise you on the best course of action. This can be the best and quickest way to help you recover and get back to normal. If you can't get to a pharmacist yourself, ask someone to go for you or call your local pharmacy. Make sure, of course, they are, offering the flu jab. You don't have to take it, but of course, they are saying make sure you get your flu jab. Flu viruses strike in winter. This is what they're saying here. You don't have to agree with what it says here. They reckon it strikes in winter and it can be far more serious than you think. Flu can lead to serious complications such as bronchitis and pneumonia, and it can be deadly, as what they used to call COVID. But of course, that's why the flu jab is free. And if you're age 65 or over or have a long-term health condition, if you have young children or grandchildren, they may also be eligible for free flu vaccination. And if you're the main carer of an older or disabled person, who may be also eligible for free flu jab, speak to your GP or pharmacist. You can also find more information at the nhs.uk/get flu jab. Okay, also don't forget that if you're age 65 or over, you are eligible for the pneumococcal vaccine. I've not heard of that one. There's a long name here. It's PNEUM OCOCCAL. I'll repeat that once more. PNEUMOCOCCAL vaccine, which they strongly advise that, of course, will help protect you from, of course, pneumococcal diseases such as pneumonia. Just ask your GP. There's other things as well that we need to, of course, talk about here. Keep warm. It's important to keep warm in winter, both inside and outdoors. Keeping warm over the winter months can help prevent colds. Interesting there. Flu and more serious health problems such as heart attacks, strokes, pneumonia, and depression. Heat your home to at least 18 degrees. That's 65 degrees Fahrenheit. You might prefer your main living room to be slightly warmer. Keep your bedroom window closed on winter nights. Breathing cold air can be bad for your health as it increases the risk of chest infections. Keep active when you're indoors. Try not to sit still for more than an hour or so. Wear several layers of light clothes. Several layers trap warm air better than one bulky layer. Interesting. I did not know that before. Yeah. Make sure you're receiving all the help that you are entitled to. Learn how to make your home more energy sufficient, improve your heating, and keep up with your energy bills at, of course, www.gov.uk/BHE/keep warm. And check your heating and cooking appliances are safe. Contact a gas safe registered engineer to make sure that they are operating properly. Gas for register.co.uk. Okay, check your medicine cabinet. Ask your pharmacist what medicines should be in your cabinet to help you and your family through the winter season. And many over-the-counter medicines such as paracetamol and ibuprofen are available to relieve symptoms of common winter ailments such as colds, sore throat, cough, sinusitis, or painful middle ear infection, earache. Talk to your pharmacist for advice on getting the relief you need. To manage the winter illness symptoms at home, you should rest and drink plenty of fluids, have at least one hot meal a day to keep your energy levels up, and use over the counter medications to help your relief or give relief. And prescriptions, sorry, make sure that you get your prescription medicines before your pharmacy or GP practices closes for Christmas. And if you have been prescribed antibiotics or any other medication, make sure that you take them as directed. And you can order your repeat prescriptions via the NHS app as well as making a GP appointments. Available now on the App Store and the Google Play. For more information, visit nhs.uk/NHS app. So, also the other thing that you might need to know is look out for other people. Remember that other people, such as older neighbours and families and members, may need a bit more extra help over the winter. There's a lot you can do to help people who are more frail than you. Icy pavements and roads can be very slippery, and cold weather can stop people from getting out and about. Keep in touch with your friends, neighbours, and friendly, and ask if they need any practical help or if they're feeling under the weather, which sometimes people can do. Make sure they're stocked up with enough food supplies for a few days in case they can't go out. If they do need to go out in the cold, encourage them to wear shoes with a good grip and a scarf around their mouth to actually protect them from cold air and reduce their risk of chest infections. And make sure they get any prescription medicines before the Christmas holiday starts and if bad weather is forecast. If they need help over the holiday period when the GP practice or pharmacy is closed or not sure what to do, NHS 111 can help. The service is available on 111.nhs.uk and also by phone. By answering questions about their health problem, and will be told what to do and where to go. So you can find information at www.nhs.uk. So, of course, the 5 things that, of course, the NHS actually recommend people do. Of course, this is optional, but they don't tell you this. Make sure you get your flu jab. And number 2 here, that was just number 1 there. Keep your home at least 18 degrees, and that is 65 degrees Fahrenheit or higher if you can. Take advantage of financial schemes and discounts to help you pay for heating. Visit your local pharmacist as soon as you start feeling unwell with the symptoms of respiratory winter illness. And look out for other people who may need a bit of extra help over the winter. And of course, it tells you to write down your pharmacy number here if you need to, of course, on that note. And that is it. And of course, it obviously tells you the things I need to remember to do in the winter. Make sure that you are warm enough. And that is the end of that. I will probably repeat that a little bit more later on a live show. But I'm going to say a huge thank you very much for watching here. It's been a pleasure doing this show here. And it's time to end the show now. And as we always say, in this sort of way, we hope to promote the community aspect for you out there. And of course, don't forget to peace out, everyone. And God bless to you all. And stay safe out there and stay warm this winter. And let's hope and pray that we have a problemless, as in cold or too cold winter. We can go through the winter without getting too cold. But of course, yeah, hopefully we won't need too much heating, but occasionally we will need the heating to keep ourselves warm. I'm keeping myself warm with my headphones here, for example, and of course doing the presenting shows and hopefully that, of course, helps stimulate the warmth, and well, I hope that stops me getting any colder. But obviously, I've got a jumper on at the same time. But let me take this on with seriously. Thank you all for watching. And as I say, we hope to promise to keep fighting the community for you. Till next time, take care. And if anyone like Dan Wootton is watching, yeah, it's very similar, but only in a community sense. Thank you very much for watching. I did watch your show and all your shows, and right away through from the start here. And it was me that posted that comment, by the way, about how I've watched you all the way from the start after Andrew Neil's first presenting on GB News. And I totally agree with most of what Dan Wootton has been saying throughout. And of course, definitely agree with a lot of what he says on the interviews that he has done and the presenting he has done as well. What a great show that Friday episode was. And I think he should do more of that kind of thing, and maybe he could bring a community like this and talk more about the community stuff as well. Bring that in, maybe do a section of the show and talk more about what goes on in the communities of different towns and all that kind of thing. It's just a suggestion for his show. I don't know whether he'll do it or not, but of course, mainly he speaks, he speaks loudly about, of course, what is going on in the establishment. But anyway, he does what he wants to do. It's entirely up to him, and we should not cancel anyone at that same time. But thank you very much for taking your time for watching, and peace out, as I say, and of course, God bless and stay safe. See you all later.